In 3, 2, 1. Whoa. What's up, man?
What's going on, dude?
What is up?
What's happening?
So, just want to get into actually a topic that we covered on our previous episode. We were talking about the MJ versus LeBron GOAT discussion, who is the greatest of all time. And we asked you guys to send us, something, send us a comment, send us a video, something that you would kind of want to argue about us with. And we did.
Yeah,
we received a comment.
Yep.
We received a comment from actually a podcast that's called Talk Too Much. He said that he would say LeBron James is the greatest of all time because LeBron has had to face tougher competition, and also that he doesn't buy into the whole rings argument.
Man, thank you for commenting. Thank you for replying to us. I am glad someone hit us up. But you know how you be nice? You're like nice before you insult somebody, dude. I don't agree with that at all.
The rings argument is...
It's when at first when you see what he said, like LeBron has faced tougher competition, you kind of agree a little bit. Obviously, I'm assuming that he's sort of young and he haven't seen Michael Jordan's competition, like up close highlights or anything like that. So he's probably being a little biased towards his generation of players.
Just his own kind of experience with his own eyes, what he's seen with his own eyes.
But at first you're like, you know what? Yeah, but I don't know, like in the finals, the Spurs beat him a couple times. The Warriors obviously are one of the best dynasties, right? So, yeah. But you look at, I don't know, like his early playoff and like the first round, what was he? I think he's undefeated in the first round. I don't think he's lost yet.
Yeah. I mean, he's been in the Eastern Conference, right? Most of his careers, he went through the Eastern Conference finals and went to the finals 8 straight years. So he just ran through it. He dominated it.
Easy first rounds, dude.
And, at that time, the Western Conference was definitely tougher. The weaker conference was the Eastern Conference. I mean, that's what they say, He did have to face some, people or some teams that
the Pacers were always pretty good.
The Pacers with Paul George, Roy Hibbert, Danny Granger, and then the Bulls with Derrick Rose
was prior
to his knee injuries.
I don't remember the Celtics obviously were beating him and they were going into the finals, but I don't know if they gave him too much trouble besides like earlier. Obviously Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen were a good-ass team, but I don't know if the early Celtics or anything were bothering him. Who else? The Bucks weren't good back then. The 76ers were garbage, dude.
Yeah, some of the teams that he faced in the finals was the Dallas Mavericks. Remember, he lost to the Dallas Mavericks. That was, I think, his first year with the Heat. He lost to Dirk and Jason Terry and Tyson Chandler and those dudes, and then San Antonio Spurs, ran by Greg Popovich and Tim Duncan, who's actually, he's definitely considered to be one of the best basketball players, but even then he's still kind of underrated. He's not really talked about too much. He's got the points numbers. He's got the rebounds numbers.
When you look at the stats, dude, he's at the top everywhere in rebounds, points, blocks. I'm pretty sure he's at the top.
Yeah, he's definitely underrated, even though he is still considered to be one of the best players. He's not given enough credit.
Not known, exactly. He's not given enough credit for what he's done, for sure.
So the Spurs and then obviously the Golden State Warriors that LeBron has had to face with and without KD. Both of those teams were tough. The one without KD was the 73-9.
Yeah, the Thunder, he messed up the Thunder when he faced him for his first championship.
Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook.
I'm trying to think, like in the East, I remember the Hawks were pretty good. They had really good regular seasons, but I think LeBron, if he even got matched up with them, would beat him. And then what was he? I think he was a Raptor killer for the longest time, dude. The Raptors could not get past LeBron.
Yeah, with the Rosen and
could not do it, dude. So, I mean, and then, I don't know, you look at Jordan's competition, especially with that documentary helping you kind of see it more, dude. All in the finals were tough.
Yeah.
Gary, John Stockton.
Yeah, the Sonics with Gary Payton, Sean Kemp,
Suns,
the Jazz,
Barkley, dude,
John
gave him
Stockton.
a tough run.
Yep. And then before the finals with the New York Knicks, you know, the Patrick Ewing and
Bad
then
Boys,
the Bad Boy
dude.
Pistons.
The Celtics earlier in his days.
Yep, with
Who
Larry
else?
Bird.
I think the Pacers later too. Reggie was giving them struggles. They took him to 7 one year.
Yep, that's true. Reggie Miller. So he definitely had to face, you know, competition as well. Maybe not as much as a super team, I guess. I don't know. Michael, he still faced a lot of Hall of Famers. Like he still he still went through a lot of
more. Well, obviously, I think LeBron's isn't Hall of Famers yet. Like Kevin Durant's not a Hall of Famer yet.
But he
Russell,
will be.
Yeah,
but
Steph,
they will be.
all those dudes.
Yeah, but they will be. Yeah, so I mean, the level of competition, I don't know, man. It's pretty close. It's pretty even. And then when he said about the rings argument, it's like, what's the point of playing basketball?
Yeah,
right?
dude, it's a
to
team
win.
sport. Yeah, it's to win championships, dude.
Like the point is to win, and Michael Jordan has won more than LeBron. Like that's the whole point of playing, right? Is to win. So he said, you know, he doesn't buy into the rings argument, but
I just don't get that neither, dude. It's basketball, dude. Like you play defense, offense, you do it all. The 5 starters are pretty much the core. Obviously, you need a bench, but the best players usually play in the finals. The best 2 players, if they're on opposite sides of the conferences, they usually end up playing, and it's works out that way. I'd say better in basketball. Like football is kind of hard. Baseball, dude. Baseball, I'd buy that argument. If you said rings didn't really matter, I'd say baseball was the best sport to say that.
Just because one person's impact isn't as great as it is in
even
basketball.
If you're the best pitcher, the best hitter, dude, your whole team has to be decent enough. Your whole rotation has to be filthy enough to make it through the playoffs and win a championship, dude.
Yeah, and it's not like basketball where one person can really impact the game.
Exactly, dude. Michael Jordan, as soon as he stepped up, they knew the Bulls were going to be a problem in the future because he was just one guy.
Yeah, so, you know, thanks for that comment. We appreciate that, but man, I don't know. It's tough to argue against Michael Jordan, you know. It's tough. It's tough to argue. I can see his point. It's a very good point. You know, LeBron has had to face some tough competition, some super teams, especially the Golden State Warriors. And then, you know, some of those finals that he was in, he didn't have Kyrie. He didn't have Kevin Love.
For sure.
So it does make it tough. It is a good point. But at the same time, the whole point of playing basketball is to win. And Michael Jordan is definitely a better winner. And he only played 15 seasons versus LeBron, who's at season 17 right now. So, you know, it's tough to argue either way. It's just, I don't know, man.
He's got a long way. He's got a long way, I think.
Yeah,
dude.
That's the thing. So LeBron's career is still going. So, you know, who knows? Maybe he can finish with a couple more championships, more points, you know, things like that. So his career is still going. So it's tough to really, you know, say it.
Hindsight, when we see it in hindsight, obviously you have a better answer.
Like 5 years in the future, and then we can really pick points and decide, you know, weigh who's better and who's not, and make a decision then. But he's still got some years. But that was, you know, a little argument from our previous episode, or not an argument, but a debate.
Yeah, thank you. That's what we want. That's kind of exactly what we want. A different perspective, a different point where we could, I don't know, analyze it and then give you our reactions.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on from that one, let's get into actually a documentary that dropped yesterday.
Another one, another one after the 10-part series
from
is
The
done.
Last Dance. ESPN moved on to Lance Armstrong, which he definitely was considered in his time, you know, one of the top athletes in the world, right? I mean, that whole cycling
and probably
thing.
It seemed like one of the most popular ones too. For like bicycling, you wouldn't think that somebody wouldn't be as popular as, I don't know, but especially after like his cancer, he got cancer and then he was like different. That's what everybody said. He got better after his cancer, and he not cured himself, but after he got better from cancer, he came out and was better than he was before. Yep.
So Lance Armstrong, he's a professional cyclist, regarded as being, you know, probably one of the best cyclists in the whole world ever, you know, greatest cyclist of all time. He he admitted in that documentary that he started taking, performance enhancing drugs.
Career, very
it is very conflicting. I mean, it's hard to say that he's the best, but at the same time, everybody claims that everybody was doing it, right? All the cyclists were doing it. So if they were all doing it and Lance was the best, then he's still kind of the best,
I don't know,
right?
even before, I mean, he said he started taking it when he was 21. So basically his entire professional career, he was taking performance enhancing drugs. He was taking steroids. And I don't know. I think when he won his first world championship before he got cancer, he was using, and then he went to a Tour de France and placed second. But I don't know, never mind. I was going to say that maybe before the steroids, like Barry Bonds, like before the steroids, he was still one of the best players in the league. But once he used steroids, he just elevated himself.
Took him to another level, So Lance Armstrong was taking a banned substance called EPO.
A bunch of shit, though. Cortisone, like he was before. And then they kind of cracked down. I think it was like in 98. They started cracking down. But still, like you said, EPO, that stuff was undetectable for the longest time.
Yep, and that was the main one that he used. And essentially what that did was it allowed for more oxygen to enter into the red blood cells. So
I think it was more red blood cells, like something like that. It added more red blood cells, which allowed you to get more oxygen into your lungs or into your body.
That allows you to train harder
and go harder when you
for a longer
need to.
period of time. So it definitely gives you a boost. And it was, like you said, a drug that was just not detected. It wasn't a part of things. And in that documentary, they said that the athletes were like 2 years ahead of where the agency was, the anti-doping agency. Yeah. So they were like kind of trying to figure out what the drugs that these cyclists were using, and they were already 2 years ahead of where the anti-doping agency was. So it's hard to crack down on that. They were cracking down on old substances that these guys have already moved on from.
New things come out, new sort of things. And then I think when it all happened in bicycling, I'm pretty sure that's when that anti-doping agency was created. So they were in their early stages of trying to figure out everything. And now I think that the agency is everywhere in sports, all over the Olympics. Right. Yeah, now they're huge. Now I bet you it's a lot harder. But back then they were just in their like infancy.
Yeah, because they had to not only figure out what they were using, but then create the tests to kind of be like, okay, are you using this or are you positive, negative? So it
tough business, I imagine.
Yeah, it took time for them to kind of, create what they needed to create in order to detect the things that, they needed to detect. So, throughout all of his career, throughout all of his wins, he was always kind of looked at to, kind of doing doping, and he was being accused of all of that. He was always questions for doping, and he denied for the longest time. Denied, and he kept winning. He won 7 straight Tour de France. 7 straight.
7, dude, that's nuts. That's freaking nuts. And I think they said the greatest cyclist before him won like 3 or something like that.
Yeah, and I don't think it was in a row. I think it was like spread apart.
Like 6-9 years or something like that.
Yeah, and he won 7 straight.
And that's the best of the best. Like that is the best tour. That's it. That's the championship.
Yeah, Tour de France, and they said it's 3 weeks? It takes 3 weeks from start to finish. So it is a really like physically endurance kind of thing. Like the top athletes got to be able to do that. You got to be in good tip-top shape. And that's what he said. He's like, I'm in probably the best shape in the world out of anybody, and here I am with cancer. It's like, he's like, people who smoke for 30 years or people who do this get cancer, not athletes, not people who are in the best shape of their whole life. And there he goes. He gets cancer. It was testicular cancer, but then it grew, right?
Yeah, it got everywhere. It spread, it metastasized, and it went everywhere. He had brain surgery. It was in his chest and his lungs, I'm pretty sure. And I think he was saying, he didn't exactly say at first when he found out it was testicle cancer. He thought maybe because he was on the bicycle or something like that.
Yeah, he was just hurting, right? It was hurting.
Yeah,
it was
and then he started coughing up blood, but also I think he said he started, like he felt symptoms, but he didn't want to go to the doctor. Yeah. So that obviously hurt him. That obviously did not help his situation. And when he went to the doctor, they were like, dude, you're covered in this shit. It's stage 4.
Yep. Stage 4 cancer, man.
And dude, like it just, I don't know. But then later he said something about a growth hormone may have done something. I think he said that before his cancer diagnosis, he took some growth hormone, and maybe he says
that's might have what could have caused the growth.
Something, I think he said like it makes good stuff grow or something like that, but it also could make bad stuff grow. And maybe, I don't know, maybe he had it already in his body, and who knows, right? Who the heck knows?
Yeah.
But that, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that taking those steroids and performance enhancers
probably doesn't help.
Yeah, right? Not at all. Not at all.
It doesn't help your body. So, you know, he took, he was doping before he got cancer. He got cancer, and then he came back and started doping again.
Back to doping, yeah.
And the crazy thing is he was a better cyclist after his cancer than he was before.
Yeah, he won those 7 Tour de France all after. It was all after his cancer, like, survival, I guess, after he came back from beating it.
Yep, so he won all those things.
And he came back better. And that's why I imagined all those accusations of him doping were credible, were like legitimate. Because, man, it's like, how is that possible? I think that's what a lot of European media were telling him.
Yeah, they're like, how can someone have cancer and then come back
beat everyone's ass that never had cancer?
Yeah, it's, I mean, and so he came back, right? There was one, so he came back after cancer, and he kind of wasn't doing that well. And then he was like, all right, after this year, I'm going to retire if I don't do anything. If I don't win, I'm going to retire. And then he's like, but I won. He's like, I won everything I could have won, and I didn't retire. And thankfully he didn't. Yeah, and then he just crushed it, right? Became known for being the best cyclist in the whole world, of all time. But in 2012, the anti-doping agency came out and just dropped bombs on him. Dropped bombs on all of his denials, on everything. And he was considered to be, by that anti-doping agency, to be the ringleader. So he was the top dog. He was the one that was, kind of making the moves, making decisions.
But worse, he was not like, and then he said in the documentary, he wasn't, although like, he's the ringleader and he's probably the worst one out of all of them. He knew though, like there's a lot of players that get caught that say, oh, I have no idea. I didn't have any idea that what I was taking was against the rules. But he straight up said, I knew what I was taking. I studied it. I looked into it, and I took it, and I chose to take it.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to lie or be one of those guys that denies. He's like, you know what?
But back then.
Yeah, he's like, I denied for so long or whatever, and now it's out there and it's hard to deny. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, I looked into it. I researched this drug, and I was like, you know what? Hell yeah.
Yeah, so give him credit on that, I guess. Give him credit for at least not BSing everybody.
Yeah, for just admitting it. I mean, it took him a little bit. So in 2012, the anti-doping agency came out and dropped bombs on all of his denials, claiming him to be the ringleader of the operation. And that operation was actually considered to be the most sophisticated doping kind of scandal or crime that there's ever been known, right? That's what they said.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. And man,
it's probably true. I mean, if all of the athletes are doing it and they're hiding it, and then the agency is like a couple years behind them, like they're more advanced. So that's what, it's claimed to be the most sophisticated, doping crime that there's ever been known. And then it took them, a year or so to come out on Oprah. Right? So he came out on Oprah and he was like, you know what? I did do it. Oprah straight up was like, did you use steroids? Yep. And he's like, yes, I did. So it took him a year, but he did it. He came out, and now this documentary is out, covering what he did and how he did it.
Yeah, and it was more interesting than I thought. Like before coming into it, I don't know, I didn't expect anything, but I honestly had no idea that he was that kind of person. He was like hot. He was a hothead. He was full of himself.
Yeah, he was very cocky.
He was, super cocky. Exactly, dude. He thought he was going to beat you in anything. And I had no idea, I guess, because he was such like a good cancer advocate.
Exactly. He was an activist.
Yeah,
and
it seemed good.
Everybody would wear the Live Strong bracelets.
Yeah, you remember those bracelets, those yellow bracelets everybody has? Those were his.
I remember forcing our parents to be like, look, we got to go to the Nike outlet. We got to pick up some of those bracelets.
I had one. Yeah, I definitely had more than one, I'm pretty sure. Those were his. Yeah, those bracelets were his. So he was good. Like he was doing very good for cancer research.
The yellow came from that Tour de France jersey, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because he was the only one wearing it, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. I think the yellow jersey meant something.
The winner of Tour de France gets the yellow. Yeah.
And he represented by he probably kept wearing it for 7 straight years.
Yep. And then those yellow Live Strong bracelets came out and became almost like a very popular, like a very positive kind of figure who is doing these things for cancer and everything. Very good story. Very good story.
Survives cancer and comes back and competes better than what he was.
Yep. And then all of a sudden that bomb dropped where, he is doping and now he's looked to be one of the not most hated, but just like kind of like a liar, somebody who,
for sure. His reputation super tarnished. Absolutely tarnished.
And not only his reputation, but ever since that, that story in 2012 that came out about the cyclist doping, he's been sued ever since then. Ever since that came out, he's been sued by, whether it's his, like his advertisement or not his advertisement, but his like sponsors. Sponsors.
His sponsor. It was USPS, dude, the government, the freaking postal service.
Yeah, that was
sued him.
Yep.
I think it's just because he was competing while they were paying him and he was cheating. He was on this top level, but he was cheating, so they shouldn't have been giving him that money because he was cheating to get it.
So then they're like, sued him. We're paying you, so you got to pay us back.
And he said it was $100 million. Initially, the lawsuit was $100 million. And
he's like, I don't have that money.
He's like, the nuclear option, dude, I got to do something. I can't remember how he explained it. He said something about if there's like a 10% chance that I'm going to end up paying $100 million, then I'm going to maybe end up paying 10 million or something like that. And his lawyers were able to lower it to like 5 million.
Yep. It ended up being $5 million, which is a huge gap from 100 million.
Huge, 100. And he's like, I don't have it.
Yeah. He's like, I don't have 100 million, but I do got 5.
I do got 5 for the USPS.
Yeah. So whatever. He paid his fines. He paid the $5 million lawsuit. And now he's just regarded as like a villain almost, after everything that he did with Live Strong, the bracelets, everything that he did came back. What a wonderful story. And now he's just looked at as a villain. Now he's just looked at as
cheater,
a cheater.
Disgrace,
exactly.
Almost.
Yeah. He's just, I mean, his reputation tanked and he was regarded as such a good guy, right? You would think that
you would imagine. Yeah, exactly.
And then watching that documentary, it almost like, it didn't make you think that he wasn't that he was a bad guy, but he definitely wasn't as good as you thought back then that he was. He openly cussed. He said the F word.
Yeah, he was calling people, a bunch of mean ass stuff, and they were competitors. And I guess there was one race where it was like a time trial or something like that, and he beat everybody on the downhill, like when there was speed. I guess I can't remember what word they used.
Yeah, like a trial, like a time trial.
It was downwind or something like that. It was downwind and they were going and they had to turn around and it was upwind and it was a lot harder. And that's when Lance took over and he just made a huge gap. And after they were done, he was like, everybody was tired, everybody was super stressed out, and he wanted to keep going.
He's like, let's keep it going.
That was just a warm-up for him. That he wanted to keep it going, but he was obviously cussing him out, saying a bunch of things.
And it's funny too, the documentary started with him saying the F word, right? So it was, he's like, it took, so from 2012, 2013, around that time, he went 5 years straight every day with somebody coming up to him and saying F you, like F you for doing that, F you for thinking that you're the best when you're not, F you,
flipping
this, F
him
you, that.
off.
So he said 5 years straight of that every day, just hearing people say that. And then he's like, for a couple months I didn't hear it, and he's like, wow, this is really strange, like, man, are people really over it? And then he said one day someone came up to him and just was like, yo, F you. And then all of a sudden the people around him were like, yo,
10
F
people.
You, F
he said,
you.
10 people were just chanting cheater and all this F you.
And then
cheater.
He went in and he bought him drinks or something like that. He was like, you know what? Send him my love. Here's some drinks for you.
Respect. That's a boss move. Super boss move, dude.
Yeah, that is a boss move. So for him to do that, not to respond negatively or to say F you back or whatever, or I got money, I'm the champ, whatever. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna buy you guys drinks.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna do something nice for these guys.
So he's, he understands where people are coming from. He gets that, he's seen as being that steroids guy, right? Like being that kind
of
being that sort of villain.
And he seems to be okay with it nowadays. He seems to be at ease with it. Like, I think maybe getting it off your chest and just admitting to everything. Because he wasn't saying no at all. I can't remember what question the interviewer asked him. It was something where he said, oh, man, I can't remember. He said something and he was just like, yeah, I was definitely taking that stuff. I can't remember how he said it, though. I can't remember what the question was. But he was just admitting to everything.
Yeah, and maybe that, kind of helped him get over it at the same time. And was
it's
like,
not eating at him.
It's out there.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, it's over with. It's out there. I put it out there. I admitted to it all. So now it's just time to move on from that life onto this now life.
Stripped him of his everything.
Yeah,
I think they stripped him
from
of
all
everything.
of his wins. Yeah, but that's what happens. But at the same time, if everybody was doing it right, and he was the one doing it too, and yet he's the best, is he still considered the best?
Yeah. Like, do you hate the player, hate the game? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's sort of that argument kind of comes up.
He's like in the culture. He's in like why? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But
like, people that don't even follow cycling at all, they know who Lance Armstrong is.
And I bet you it was because of everything he did, like being the cancer survivor, coming back, and then being on top of the world. Everybody knows him. And then the scandal comes out, and it makes him like I feel like that would probably make his name more well known because it's just everywhere. And then how bicycling is like in Europe and America now, everywhere.
Right. So Europe was like the main kind of
the best
area
for a while.
Yeah, the main area for cyclists and things. I mean, the Tour de France is in France, and the French are considered to be one of the best ones. So it's good though. I mean that he was able to kind of change the sport, and I'm sure he brought more attention to things and more popularity. Sure. So.
Especially being American, like that's, and I think they said that he won the first world championship he won. I think he was the only second American. And that makes me think that I don't know of too many other Americans who won the Tour de France. And they were all interviewed too. A lot of the cyclists from Europe, they were explaining everything. You remember they said like the Spaniards act this way, the Italians do this, the French are like full of themselves because they host the world's biggest tour. But the Americans, they're like, I've never met anybody weirder than the Americans.
Yeah, because he's like, Americans have so many options for sports. They have football, they have basketball.
Oh, that's right.
They have so many options for sports that the weird guys are the ones that choose cycling. And that's what he was saying. He was like, the weirdest people that I've ever met are American cyclists. He's like, those are the weirdest people.
Very good point. Because they're like the odd men out.
Yeah.
Because they're athletes and they know that they could make it far in whatever maybe they put their mind to. And I don't know, maybe they're not tall enough. They're not. And and cycling is like individual. There's almost nothing.
That's what I was about to say. Cycling is just like an individual sport. Yeah. So, I mean, that Lance Armstrong documentary looks good just based off of that first part. The next part's coming out right on Sunday. So
yeah,
it looked good. The one that we watched was good. It was very interesting.
It was 2 hours, and it was good to sit through. Like, I think it was also who he was. He was pretty, like, I have no idea. He was a different guy. And he was, I don't know, like he was just driving in the car or something, right? They told him to wear a seatbelt, and then he was like, no, you don't have to wear a seatbelt in the back seat.
Yeah, he's just like
and they're like, yeah, you do. You definitely do. And he started talking about something else and never put on the seatbelt.
Yeah, I don't know. He just seems like
he just doesn't care that
dude
much.
That he just like is gonna do whatever he wants to do, regardless. Whatever happens. He's gonna do it.
Yeah.
But we'll go from Lance Armstrong from one kind of criminal kind of thing to
Sort of.
yeah, I mean it's
cheating
like a sports
the system.
sport. Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's a better term, is a cheating the system. From one cheater of the system to another cheater of the system, we're gonna go ahead and talk about Lori Loughlin.
AKA Aunt Becky.
Aunt Becky from Fuller House.
Becky Kostopoulos.
And then her husband, I'm not going to pronounce this wrong. He seems like a very Italian.
Not Uncle Jesse.
Not Uncle Jesse. Yeah, she's cheating. She's out here cheating with Uncle Jesse. This guy's name is Massimo Giannulli.
Something. He's probably something important, I'd imagine.
Massimo Giannulli. He's Aunt Becky's husband. And he is a fashion designer. Again, he's not Uncle Jesse, not no Jan Stamos. So they both are accused of paying $500,000 to a man named William Rick Singer. And this dude, William, he was paid over $20 million to inflate entrance exam scores and to bribe college officials. So this guy, I mean, he's probably been doing it for a long time.
For sure, because what was it, 20 million, right?
He was paid over $20 million, yeah, and I'm sure it was over the course of years and years and years. I'm sure it was his first time doing it or his first year doing it, so he's probably just known kind of around that sort of like scammy community that he's able to get your kids into the schools that you guys want.
If you pay an outrageous amount, because it seems like $500,000, right? She paid $500,000 to get her daughter into USC, which is a private school. I'd imagine, obviously, I think you have to be accepted. It's not like just anybody. But what's the tuition? What do you think? Like, I don't think it's over $100,000 like for a year.
No,
2 semesters, right? That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
So if you go to school 5 years, that's a stupid price. Why? Like, go to another school, go to something else. I don't know. Because I'm imagining, let's say max, it's like $25,000 a semester.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe $20,000 a semester.
So $50,000 a year, let's say, and you go to school 4 or 5 years. That's a horrible price.
Yeah. So they paid that guy allegedly, right? I mean, they're going to plead guilty. It's already came out that Aunt Becky and her husband are going to plead guilty to the charges. They're going to plead guilty and admit to paying that guy $500,000 to, inflate entrance exams. And the whole thing was Aunt Becky's daughters were going to be on the rowing team, right? So rowing is, I don't know, on the boats, right? You're just rowing.
Yeah, you're
whatever.
Just probably like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 people on like a canoe and you're just going and never seen it. I don't think it's an Olympic sport.
I think it might be.
Really? I feel like you're right. You're probably right. I think it is for sure. Yeah. I think now I'm imagining it. It's like a long, Yeah. I'm imagining it for sure.
So Aunt Becky's daughter, her name is Olivia Jade Loughlin. I don't know. She just
looks
goes by.
exactly like her, dude.
Just a younger version.
Exactly like her.
So she was going to be on the rowing team, according to the documents and everything, because athletes are able to have lower entrance exams. They're able to have lower GPAs. Mm-hmm. So, because they can go on the athletic scholarship. So it's almost like that's what they were going for, because I assume that, obviously her scores weren't good enough.
She didn't have it. Exactly.
Yeah, obviously,
why pay $500,000 if she could get a scholarship herself?
Obviously her GPA was down. Not even a scholarship, just for her to get in. So her scores were low. Her GPA was low. So they're like, okay, we're going to fake you being on the rowing team, and then we're going to inflate your test scores or whatever. We're going to pay this guy to get you in. And it worked out. The guy was able to successfully get her in.
She was on the team, right?
Officially, I think she was on the team. Like, her name was on the roster, but in the team pictures and stuff, she never was there. Yeah, she was never on the team pictures, but officially, I think on the rosters, her name was on there. But she never went to practice. She never did those kind of things. She just, for whatever reason, her name was on the roster. And then, obviously that raised suspicion, and they looked into it, and they found out that she actually wasn't supposed to be there. She isn't on the team. She never rowed a day in her life. She never was on a rowing team. She never practiced.
Wow.
And so what the guy was doing was, William Rick Singer, what he was doing was he was setting, kind of this up as a charity. So he was putting a fake charity, and then people would look like they were donating money to this guy's charity, when in reality they were paying him to scam and fraudulently, inflate these test scores and things like that. So it's
huge business too, is what it seems like.
Yeah, a rich person's game, a rich family's
exactly.
game. Yeah.
The only people who are going to pay are important people with a lot of money who are ready, I guess, who have, I was going to say dumb kids who aren't good enough to make it into the school without
maybe
paying
not dumb,
$500,000.
Yeah, bad student kids. Yeah.
That's not good enough. But I don't see why you just go to another crappy university. There's plenty of them.
It's the image. It's the reputation.
You're probably right. The prestige of going to USC, going to a private school, going to a California school too. Like all those USC, UCLA, Stanford, all those schools seem as like they're prestigious. They have this status about
Exactly. That's exactly right. And
they're so full of themselves.
Exactly.
Dude.
And I think Aunt Becky, they caught her on tape saying that she doesn't want her daughter going to ASU. She doesn't want her going to Arizona State. She wants that USC because of what you were saying, because of the prestige, because of that sort of next level of like, we're better than you because we went to USC, you went to Arizona State, like we're better than you.
College.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, ASU might be a bad example because they're extra party, and their
school. Acceptance rate is like 95% or something.
They have 100,000 students. They're huge because they accept everybody. They might be a bad example, but
they caught her on tape saying like, we don't want our daughters going to ASU.
So that definitely shows you that she wants that image.
They were interested in the prestige and the reputation.
She wants her daughter, to go to a private school. So fancy.
Exactly. And the funny thing too is the daughters like openly are saying that they had no idea that her mother was doing that. And it's like, dude, come on.
I'm sure if you had a 2.0 GPA in high school, it's like, what? I got accepted to USC?
Yeah,
what?
Exactly. It's like,
you sure?
Yeah,
you sure you got the numbers right? Me?
Yeah, that's weird, right? It's like
she has to know.
Yeah, she definitely has to know.
You have to know.
And there's a video, I don't know if it's more than just one, but there's definitely one video of her almost like doing the exercises of like rowing and like doing these sort of things. And there's like a video of her doing that. I don't know what the purpose of the
fake it to make it seem like it's probably like a highlight video. You know how they create mixtapes in basketball? It's probably like your mixtape of rowing or something.
Exactly.
Like she trains hard. Look at her. She's good.
Yeah.
Just something, right? It's probably not as well done as the real athletes because she probably doesn't have too much footage of her rowing in competitions and stuff, but if you can fake it, a little bit, and Lori Loughlin, I'm sure she's very well versed on how to act scenes out.
Yeah, and has the money for it, right? So they claim that they had no idea that their parents were doing that, and yet there's videos of her rowing like that and pretending to do it. So it's like,
I believe you.
So it's like, you definitely got to know it. Going back to your point too of having that low GPA and being accepted to USC. It's like, that should have raised a red flag, but she had to have known. Olivia Jade had to have known what her mom, Aunt Becky, was doing. So, I mean, she's just as guilty, right? I mean, Aunt Becky paid the money, but she's the one that's going
she's
in.
not a victim, right? Like she's not, she shouldn't be seen as the victim in this situation, as like almost a pawn in her mother's like scheme or something like that. She was a huge part of it.
Yeah, she knew. She's the main person. She's the one that's going from, being on this rowing team and then USC and having all these things going on about her, and she's saying that she didn't know when she had to have known. I mean, else? Why else would they be like, okay, you know what? We need you to do this exercise right here, and we're going to record you. It's like, how could you have convinced her to do that without actually telling her what it was?
Why would you join the rowing team, or I guess almost pretend to be on the rowing team when you have nothing to do with rowing or anything, no knowledge, nothing? And then they're like, yeah, sure, I'll be on the rowing team. Like, it's that easy to be a D1 athlete.
Yeah, they're like, this sport is small enough, no one's going to even care about it.
That's insulting, dude.
Yeah, so, and then they got busted, you know. And not only Aunt Becky and her husband, it was reported that over 50 people have gone busted sending that dude money. So, and there's been a lot of them that have already pleaded guilty. And so Aunt Becky and her husband are pleading guilty. And supposedly there's a deal.
There's for sure a deal. Why else would you plead guilty, dude? There's for sure a plea deal, some kind.
The deal that's been reported is that Aunt Becky's going to go to jail for 2 months. And then her husband's going to be 5 months, I think.
Which will not be 2 months. Even if she serves a day in jail, it won't be 2 months. Doubt it.
Because then they can use the coronavirus as an excuse or whatever. And
something.
I mean, that
already,
scandal. That scandal probably deserves like at least a decade or however. Like,
that's huge, right? You're cheating a ginormous system that you would think is untouchable. Like,
and not only that,
people into school.
The government ran. Well, I don't know if USC is government ran, but the NCAA definitely
they have something. Universities have something to do with government.
Yeah.
With stuff.
Yeah, so, and they got busted, and now they're down to 2 months in jail.
Wow. How lucky, dude. How nice it is, dude. How nice it might feel.
It goes back to being a rich person's game. You know, that's a game for rich people, you know, trying to scam the system. It's
and
like
they get 2 months.
It's like nobody in like the middle class or lower class is even going to think about that stuff. It's like, that thought process and that kind of scheme is only for rich people. Like that
very good point, dude.
Yeah, it's only for a rich person. It's a rich person's game because you have to have that money for it to put down. And not only that, just to have kind of that thought process of like, you know, because rich people are able to evade things that middle class people get
that's
busted
exactly
for.
That's what I was gonna say, dude. It was like, I bet you they thought they were like they're under the table. They for sure thought we're never gonna get caught. They're never gonna find out. Whatever system we have is perfect because for 500,000, I'd expect to never get caught and never get any sort of suspicion thrown at me. But I wonder who was it? There had to have been like a whistleblower or something like from that guy's perspective, the guy who was actually paying off everybody. Who would you think he would have to pay off? Like the admissions person? I don't know, like a dean of admissions or something. I don't know. Or maybe not the president, right, of USC. Probably not that deep.
Yeah, I don't know.
They wouldn't take it, right? Like maybe, unless it was, everybody has a price. Who said that?
Right, yeah. There's a price for everything, right?
So I don't know. Maybe. It depends on how deep it is, but I don't know how crazy the investigation is, but I'm sure they can find that out.
Yeah,
they probably already did, to be honest. And I know
that some people got fired from the colleges, like some college officials got fired and things like that. So people lost their job over accepting those bribes, and it's just bad, dude. Like, and for all that, for scamming and everything, it's like 2 months in jail.
2 months, worth it.
We won. I think they have to obviously pay a fine. They got to pay some sort of fine. I don't know what the number is, but the 2 months in jail is like, dude, if anybody else, right? If somebody not famous were to do that
for years, but I guess when she comes out, she's probably never gonna have another acting gig. Nothing.
Yeah.
She's done, dude.
And
she's
even before
blackballed.
then, I mean, what Fuller House was.
But still, it's a huge Netflix show.
Yeah.
Probably raking in a lot.
Yeah, she was definitely on Fuller House. So, and then everything came out and she got busted. And ever since then, she's been in and out of courts, paying fines. But, you know, she got let off pretty easily, dude. Pretty easily. That's a couple fines, 2 months in jail. That's it. And then obviously her daughter can't go to USC no more.
Dude.
The funny thing too is David Dobrik. There's that vlog where David Dobrik posted of her. He was recording her moving into her college dorm.
And he caught history, dude. Yeah, he was recording. Little did he know that she should not have been there, dude. Yeah, little did he know that she's one of the most, like, I don't know, scandalous, like, in all the country, right? Like, someone that got in, that just cheated the system, that just should not be there. And I guess that's the point, right? That's the mean thing. She took someone's spot.
Exactly.
She took other people who deserved it. She took them out. because
one person,
she has a lot of money.
Yeah, one person that deserved to get in did not get in because of her money, because of her parents, because of who she was born into, like the family that she was born into. She took someone else's spot who, who knows, could be the best neurosurgeon of all time.
Something, right?
Whatever.
Something. Who knows? Could have cured cancer, could have ended the world. Who knows? But
all what ifs. So who really knows? But you're right. That's a very good point. It did take a spot out of somebody who definitely deserved it. So it's very scandalous. Like, it's just a horrible thing to do. Like, it's just...
You're above. You think you're above everybody else. And that's funny, dude. And Dobrik was there to vlog that, dude, and to catch some history.
There's a video out there on YouTube of Olivia Jade, Aunt Becky's daughter, moving into her dorm at USC illegally. She was not supposed to be there.
And she knew, right? And she knew.
She had to have known. There's no chance.
And she's flaunting. I think she has her own YouTube channel with a lot of subscribers.
Yeah, I think she went quiet for a couple months. I don't know how long, but she definitely went quiet.
Back or something.
Yeah, and she came out with like something saying that she had no idea. My parents did this. I didn't know. And it's like, you're lying through your teeth, girl.
Yeah, dude. Having Dobrik record makes me think that she's just like, she's out there. She's like, I don't care, right? Like, I'm going to record. Millions of people will see this and they will have no idea.
I'm not going to get busted. Nothing's going to happen to me. I'm going to be here for a couple years. I'm going to graduate.
Sneaky. That's snaky, dude. That's slimy.
I'm going to do a couple rowing videos.
A couple practices. I'll talk to coach for a day and, I'm good, dude. I'm on the team.
Get my diploma and get out. Nah. Now you're probably not going to college, huh?
Ever. Probably. You to some school. ASU. ASU.
Maybe.
Give them a call.
Maybe she'll go to community college, get her grades up, and then go to school. But a person like her, she doesn't
She's
really...
good.
That's the only reason why they were doing it, is because of the reputation, because of that sort of prestige. Like, she doesn't need to go to college. What job is going to pay her more than what she already has? So... It's
just have a YouTube. That's it. She can turn on the camera, have a YouTube channel, make money off that, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, she's good looking, so she can get a modeling job or whatever,
Acting, I'm sure if that's what she wanted, whatever. Anything small, I'm sure she could have done privileged enough to get a lot of opportunities thrown at her.
But now there's just a stain on her. There's a stain on her mom, so it's always going to be there. It's such a big scandal, dude, and it turned out to only be 2 months. So it's like, dude, man, rich people got it easy, huh? Rich people, we got to get on that level, right?
She should just start trolling, dude. She should just come out and just start trolling and be like, fuck it, dude. Sheesh. I don't care. I got 2 years of education.
Yeah. I'm going to start my own college.
I'm going to start my own school.
Yeah. She could. She got the money for it.
But just start messing around.
But yeah, I mean... I don't know. Olivia Jade didn't deserve it. But yeah, she pleaded guilty. And Lori Loughlin pleaded guilty. Only 2 months, but we'll see.
Zero.
We'll see.
Probably zero.
We'll see, right? I mean, regardless, her reputation is tainted. She's got a stain on her card. She's not probably going to be seen on TV anymore, not on Netflix. Her girl isn't probably going to go to college anymore, but... Whatever, to them, they still got money.
That's what she gets, though.
Yeah,
any
they deserve
punishment, if anything that she gets, she deserves it. Like anything that's coming to her, she deserves it.
Yep. But let's just switch, going from one person who's going to go to jail to another person who has gotten out of jail due to coronavirus, is the infamous, notorious... rainbow-headed,
rainbow-grilled,
6ix9ine tatted,
King
Tekashi,
of New York.
King of New York.
King of New York himself.
Self-proclaimed King of New York, Tekashi 6ix9ine. So he got out of jail. He's a rapper. He's probably, he's one of the most famous rappers.
Well known.
Right now. Yeah,
for sure.
Whether if it's famous or infamous, like, everybody knows him. They know that rainbow-headed dude when he comes out. I mean, so he's a rapper. He got busted for, what was it, racketeering?
Yeah, he was like a gang leader, right? That's what it kind of said. That's what I think racketeering is. Like, you're seen as the gang leader or the dude that's doing everything. A big time dog, I would imagine.
Yeah, so he got busted for racketeering. I don't really know the specifics of it, but you know,
what was it? Life, right? It was said that he was going to get life or 30 years.
Yeah, there was something crazy. Yeah,
or something like that.
And then I don't even think he lasted like a year and a half. Was it 2 years? It was like, I think it was
2018. I think it was late 2018, and
so like a year and a half he was in jail. He comes out and then he goes on Instagram Live, and at one time on that Instagram Live feed there was 2 million people watching him. After he got out of jail, I mean, he hasn't been in the news for a year and a half. I mean, people are in the news like, oh, he's a snitch, right? That was the thing, is that he was a rat. He was snitching.
That's how we got out. That's how we ended up getting out and getting his sentence. What's it called? Reduced because he was just ratting everybody out. And everyone knew it. He knew it. He released the song first, and then he started his live stream playing the song.
What's the
with
song
these
called?
2 chicks, Gooba, something like that. And he starts the live streams with these 2 chicks, dude, that are just dancing to his music. And then he comes out, chained out, iced out, just talking scat, dude, just
and
straight.
1 million people, and then 1.5 million, and then 2 million people are on his live at one time.
And that music video has like 230 million views right now. And when it first came out, like I listened to it, I remember it was at like, I think 30 million. And then it went up to 70, 90 quick, very quick. The video just exploded.
And now it's at 240. You checked it earlier this morning,
it was
right?
like 232 or something like that.
232 million people openly watching a video of this guy who admitted to snitching. I mean, he admitted to snitching. He put the rat emoji on his face in the video. Like,
doesn't care. He flat out doesn't care.
He's doubling down on it. He's telling everybody he's a snitch. What did he say about? He's like, if I would be mad too.
Yeah, if there was a rat in jail that got out because he was a rat, then he started making music and had better numbers than me, I'd be mad too. He was saying, he's like, I'd be mad too, for sure. If someone came out in that fashion, I'd be pissed off too. And he did, though. That's the thing. Like, he's not lying.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of views on that video.
So what did you say?
2 million?
230 million on YouTube,
the music
right?
video.
The music video compared to Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber's music video is at like 40 million.
Not even 50, right? And they're number one.
Yeah,
apparently.
And they have the number one Billboard song when Tekashi's got 200 million more views on YouTube than they do. And it's Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande. They do not have enough pull together, combined, to match
Tekashi's.
And that's crazy. That's crazy.
So he's not lying, dude. When he came out on that Instagram video and he was like, the king is back, dude, I have returned.
Yeah.
He wasn't lying.
He came out of jail.
Like what you were saying, whether you like him, you know who he is and you watch it. You're gonna keep paying attention to him, dude, because he's so unique.
He is.
Even his singing is like super unique. Like he's almost screaming, like he's almost rapping, but like yelling at you.
Andrew Schultz said a good point. He's like, regardless if you think he's good or not at rapping, what he's good at is grabbing attention.
A lot of attention. 2 million views on Instagram at a time.
Broke the record.
Yeah. Everybody, and we were saying that it was very smart of him to only have people who were verified to comment, because then it's almost like everybody. It's like you have to be there, right? Word gets out that this Instagram video is gaining ridiculous traction, and it's only verified people. Like, you're just reading their replies as it comes in, all the celebrities, all the people with millions of followers.
So people that are not famous can then go onto his live and be like, and check out what famous people are saying. And then at the same time, the famous people can comment on his stuff and get their sort of, their following or their kind of promotions out there because of his video.
That just makes it huge, dude. Yeah. That makes it ginormous. Wasn't Lil Nas saying he was cute or something?
Yeah,
he was like, hey, dude, he's cute.
Yeah, Lil Nas was
freaking awesome.
Was making comments and stuff. And I mean, that live video got a ridiculous amount.
Destroyed the records, dude.
And as soon as he got out of jail, right, he himself hasn't posted for a year and a half. And then his first post back is that live video, and it gains so much attention. And then he drops his music video, and his music video goes crazy,
ginormous,
and yet he lands on number 3 on the Billboard,
behind Ariana and Justin. Now, when we were talking about it before, I said that there's no way billboards would put Tekashi at number 1. There's just no way. I don't see it happening. Billboard is seen as like prestigious. Like, I mean,
it's the main source, right? Like that's
the top 100.
That's like the metric,
think,
right?
Yeah.
Like that's like the measuring tool of people's songs, right? Is Billboard. Like I'm sure there's plenty of other lists and plenty of other, things that people can use, but Billboard is the one that people use. Like how we were talking about Tour de France with Lance Armstrong, like how Tour de France is kind of that championship, that Billboard is kind of that prestigious, like the number 1 spot.
And it's almost, the name is just synonymous. Billboard toppers, like chart toppers. Those charts are really the only ones a lot of people pay attention to. And I mean, he almost has 200 million more views than Justin's and Ariana's does.
And yet
he's 3.
And he's number 3 and they're number 1.
And then he came out and said that Justin and Ariana buys their streams, which... Man, all right. Like, I don't know I don't know exactly what he means, but absolutely they both put in money to promote their songs. That's what everybody does.
Everybody does
nothing wrong with it. But how they do it, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what he means, but they for sure put in a lot of money so their song goes out into the world. And
Tekashi, what he said, that I can't remember what the number was. Let's just put an example. I think it was, but I'm not sure. He said that like $500,000 worth of stream views or $500,000 of bought CDs or bought records, whatever, came from 6 credit cards. And he said it happened at the last minute. Somehow 6 credit cards bought that much, streams or that much, whatever it is. And that's what he's claiming. And then Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande responded to it, dude.
Which is what you never do, dude. You never do to a troll, a guy who just is out there for attention. He came out of jail and is name dropping 3 of the biggest singer-songwriters ever, Justin Bieber, Ariana, and then Snoop Dogg, comes out and just calls them whatever, roasts them
just to get attention,
and all 3 of them responded. All 3 of them
and
broke
what did that do?
One rule, dude.
What did that do? That made him more famous and more into the spotlight.
Ariana responds to Tekashi 6ix9ine. Justin responds to whatever Tekashi said. Tekashi 6ix9ine, blah blah blah.
That's exactly what he wanted. Exactly. He wanted that response for them. He wanted them to, try to fight him and try to argue them with him. And they went along with it, and guess what? I'm sure he gained a shit ton more followers. I'm sure he gained, more media coverage and everything. So
because his name, it doesn't matter if it's bad news or whatever. What do they say? Bad publicity, good publicity.
Yeah,
it's
bad
still publicity, dude.
Exactly. There's no such thing as bad publicity. Whether he's famous or infamous, you know his name. You know who he is. You take a look at that rainbow hair.
And then he said Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj also said that artists buy streams.
Yeah.
He used their words, who are titans, right? Jay-Z, Nicki, huge names in the industry. And he used their words to be like, hey, these people also said that famous artists buy streams so they can top the charts. And 200 million more views on YouTube. Dude, come on.
It's hard to
argue
the other way.
He's absolutely right, dude.
And Ariana and Justin came back with their sort of argument to the whole thing. I can't remember.
Of course they're number 1, right? Of course they're number 1, and they're able to talk down, right? They're able to be like, all right, everybody should feel fortunate and blessed that they have the talent and they're good enough to make it on the billboards. Everybody should be happy. And then she was like, even if you're number 3, even if you're the 3rd guy, you should still be happy. Obviously, being number 1, it's easy to say that, right? Super easy.
Yep, it's easier to talk down to everybody.
But if she was 3 and Mr. Tekashi 6ix9ine was number 1, she would be outraged, dude.
Everybody would.
Outraged, exactly. So all the little radio stations that love Ariana and Justin, dude, they nonstop talk about it.
I mean, they went along with exactly
but I think
what
he's
he wanted.
right, dude. I'm on his side. Honestly, I'm on his side.
Like, just
dude.
think about it. Like, will Billboard really put his song at number one?
That dude, that guy.
Will they really? And I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, it could just be a conspiracy or something that somebody posted online or whatever. But I read somewhere that Billboard, I don't think that they're suing Tekashi, but they're like taking everything off. Like, they don't want anything to do with him. But again, it's just something that I read. I'm not sure if that's true, but if it is true, it's like that's messed
a
up.
horrible decision, dude. It's like the Michael Jordan shoe situation. The NBA were like, hey, you have to follow our rules and wear these certain shoes. And then Nike was like, hey, they banned our shoes. They were so good that the NBA had to ban these shoes.
Yep.
Just like that. It's
so
like Tekashi could be like, yo, I am so good that the billboards had to take me off the charts.
Yep.
That's how good I am.
Here, listen to this. And then people will listen. I mean,
that's a bad decision if that's true, dudes. Then again, Billboard responded. Just let him chat. Let him be. I was thinking, like, when you said Andrew Schultz, right? The video he came out with was comparing like Tekashi to Trump.
Yeah.
Dude, I think the mistake, like I was thinking when we were saying that Tekashi was able to get all this media attention because Justin and Ariana responded. I want to say, like, when Trump came out in 2015 and he said all that stuff about Mexicans, what happened the next day? Everybody was talking about him. Whether it was good or bad, everybody was saying his name. And it just exploded his popularity, I'd imagine.
Yep.
Just like what happened to Tekashi, dude. The media needs to learn to just let them talk. Do not respond. Don't say their name. Just leave them alone.
But that's not going to happen.
And they didn't, dude. I bet you if you let Trump just chat and blabber and whatever, and you quit saying his name and quit reporting on him, he probably wouldn't have gotten as much popularity as he did.
But the media has their job too to do. Like, their job is to get clicks.
I guess that's right. Like,
their job is to get clicks.
Interesting dude. He's just both of them. They're just these figures.
Writing about Donald Trump or writing about Tekashi 6ix9ine is going to get those views, is going to get those clicks. So it's like they're both benefiting from what they're doing. They're both doing their job, right? Tekashi's trying to get the attention, and while these people are giving it to him at the same time by, the media giving him the attention, they're also getting their attention. People are clicking on their articles to read, and
it helps everybody, right? Everyone in the situation gets helped out.
Yeah, it's a tough decision. I mean,
man, dude, I'm on his side, dude. I am for sure on his side. Ariana and Justin don't deserve to be on that number one spot, and they're only there because of who they are.
Just look at the YouTube streams.
The numbers. What he was saying, he's like, numbers. I think he said in the live stream, he's like, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't, dude. Like, I have bigger numbers than them.
And based off of that, he's right. I mean, 200 million views. I get it. Okay, maybe if it was 1 million or 2 million, but 200 million more views.
Mm-hmm. His song
on YouTube. And they're, Ariana and Justin are like, well, it's because of we're only counting domestic streams, domestic views.
Oh, it's okay. Good excuse.
Regardless, I'm sure he's still putting up more numbers here.
200 right there. If you want to add the other platforms, I'm sure they do not amass 200 million, dude.
Yeah, and the other thing on his side he got upset that the charity, I think it was No Kids Hungry. So No Kids Hungry charity, Tekashi tried to donate $200,000 to their cause, to their charity. $200,000 to No Kid Hungry charity. And that charity denied. They denied him the money. They denied his donation. They were like, nope, we're not taking your money. Which raises the question, is their image more important to them than feeding the kids that are hungry?
Than actually doing what they set out to do, than actually receiving money and charity and donations so they can feed hungry children. Their image, like the person who gave it to you, right? You don't want to be associated, like, because obviously I think regardless articles were still printed with their names next to each other, but I'm imagining, let's say they accepted the donation and it comes out that Tekashi 6ix9ine donates 200,000 to this charity, right? Your name, what was it? No Kids Hungry?
No Kids Hungry, yeah.
So bam, your name is just right there next to his.
Yeah, right.
regardless, though, I think rejecting it maybe, I don't know. It seems like it's kind of has brought in the attention down a little bit.
I don't know.
But man, you're right. They're worried about their reputation, how they look in the public eye, instead of actually receiving $200,000 to feed hungry children, which is what your cause.
And don't come at me and say that all kids are full. Like there's plenty of kids that are hungry.
They would love to have $200,000.
Plenty
That's
of
a
kids.
huge amount.
Plenty of kids out there that are hungry, and
you said no because he's Tekashi 6ix9ine.
just because of who he is, yeah. And that money, I mean, I'm sure that money's clean. It's clean money. I don't think it's dirty
exactly,
money. Like,
right? I'm sure, exactly. I saw a video of him giving $1 million to his mom, and he said something like that, like, yeah, this is good. Like, this is
clean,
music money. This isn't, I'm assuming, right? I'm sure he does have some sort of elite, but nothing compared to what he's gotten from his troll career.
It's very, I mean, I kind of see no kid's hungry point. You know, they're trying to hold that sort of image, but
I don't at all.
What's more important?
I don't at all. Money speaks, dude. Yeah, money is everything.
It comes down to it. Like, what's more important, feeding these kids or maintaining your image? And they chose the image.
But maybe, I guess what you're saying now, I sort of understand. If their image is bad, then no one's going to donate. Then maybe at the end, they're not going to get as much as they could have.
Because it's like, oh, Tekashi's donating money. They accepted his money.
Like
okay,
that,
I'm gonna take my money somewhere else. Like, but still, man, that 200,000, it was in your guys' account, was in your guys' thing, and you
ready
guys
to go.
Like, denied it. I mean, dude, that's a very touchy subject, but I'm with Tekashi on that. They should not have denied him that money.
Take the money, dude, wherever it's from. Take it. Obviously, if it's from Pablo Escobar or El Chapo or something, then it's like, all right, man, there's a lot of crispy bills. Like, I'm good. But Tekashi 6ix9ine, his image is known as pretty much like a rat, but a rapper. Like, he's not... And you take his money, dude.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, feed the kids, man. That's your mission.
Dude,
you can't
and
tell
I'm
me.
sure that's why he wanted to do it, too. He didn't donate to, like, I don't know, some sort of relief, some other thing. He wanted to give it to hungry children.
Yeah, and they didn't take the money.
Wow. I bet you there are a lot of charities that are hitting him up, like, trying to get in contact, like, hey, I'll take that 200,000. Are you kidding me?
We'll take it. We'll take 100. We'll take half if you want.
Man,
I mean, but he's just built up that image, that kind of infamy, to where it's like they're gonna deny things. Even a charity is gonna deny him, let alone a billboard. Let alone Billboard's gonna deny him. The charities, who their whole mission is to accept money, accept donations to, you know, help improve their own charity, whatever they're going for, whatever their mission is. And you can't tell me that No Kids Hungry mission is over. You know,
like, they're too full of themselves, dude. That's just the bottom line. Maybe they're trying to protect their like bottom line. Isn't that what they say? Like, they're at the end of the day, I want to say that's literally all companies worry about, is how to protect their butt. But I don't know. I don't see why being associated with him matters. If he gave you money,
take it.
Like, why would you be like, oh my God, we took Tekashi's money, now no one's going to donate?
Feed the kids, man.
If anything, I would imagine maybe it'd get more donations, right?
Yeah. Feed the kids now, man. Worry about later, whatever, but feed them now. They're hungry now.
Yeah. At the end of the day, as right now, like, I think they hurt their image. I think they did worse than what they could have if they accepted his money.
And I
think it's worse.
That's probably true. That probably is true, but I mean, it's tough, dude. And this guy's just gonna keep putting out, you know, he's gonna keep tweeting, he's gonna keep
calling
putting out
Instagram.
Yep. He's gonna keep doing what he's doing. He's
trolling.
Not gonna stop. He's only 24. He's gonna keep doing his thing. People are still gonna keep following him. He's gonna. I mean, it's man, I don't know.
Don't respond, dude. That's honestly the only thing. Just don't give him the light of day.
And I think he's making a song now about Snoop Dogg or something to do with Snoop Dogg. Like
I
his
saw
new song
that he posted a picture. He was like, the top comment is gonna be the song title or something like that. The most liked comment will be the song title. And it was something to do with Snoop Dogg or something like that.
Shame.
He doesn't care. That right there shows what artist does that.
Yeah, he really doesn't care. Exactly. Like he's doing things that nobody is gonna do, nobody has ever done. Like he's just only in it for attention. He's only in it for attention. And at this point of time where people can really pick and choose what they want to listen to, what they want to watch, him being who he is the one that's grabbing people's attention. Regardless if it's good or bad.
People are what? 2 million? That's huge. That's ginormous, dude.
At this moment of time, he grabs the most attention. Him and Donald Trump, they grab the most attention.
Like those ratings, like if you want to, somehow you could look at the ratings, he was probably at the top, dude. Like TV ratings, like how many millions of people are watching like this certain program.
Or like Google searches or something like that.
Dude, he was probably at the top.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. That's tough.
She just gets out. That's awesome though, dude. He just gets out of jail and just starts calling people out. Huge names, dude. Justin and Ariana are probably the 2 biggest names in music, period, right now.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely up there.
And he comes out and is just like, hey,
he just
y'all suck.
Yeah,
y'all buy your streams. You don't deserve it.
Yep, he just calls them out.
And you're just like, okay.
He probably really didn't have like a basis for that. Like he probably didn't have any sort of evidence. He was just like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to call him out like this. This is what's going to happen. And I'm going to get this many people to watch me. And it happened. And they responded. And then more people came and watched. And more people, even the hate, like I'm sure he got plenty of Ariana Grande fans and Justin Bieber fans coming at him, taking shots at him. But it doesn't matter. He wants whatever he can get. Whether it's good or bad, he wants it all. And it happened. It happened for him, and it probably is going to continue to happen for him. He's not going to stop.
Yeah, he's crazy. In that live video, he had a watch, and he was saying there are only 2 people in the world that have this watch. So if you don't have it, you're not on my level. You're a little boy to me.
That's what he said, yeah.
You're a kid to me. If there's only 2 people with the watch,
then 7 billion people on this earth
are only little boys to him.
Are little boys to this guy.
So that right there, dude, you see that? You're Justin Bieber, you're Ariana, you see that? You're like, okay, I know what we're dealing with.
Tekashi's kind of like
don't pay attention.
I don't know if I want to call him like a scam artist or like a con man, like a scam. Because he's putting up a front. Like the way that he is, there's no way he's really like that. Like he's just putting up his own kind of character.
Sure.
He's just building up his own character and building him in a way that he wants to build him.
That's a good point.
It's probably, a very good point. I mean, he probably didn't want to get 69 tattooed all over his body, but it's like, well,
like people are looking at me.
People are going to talk about it. People are going to talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do.
Why not? On his face?
I'm going to dye my hair rainbow colored and people are going to talk about it. And I don't know if I want to call him a scam artist or like that sort of con man, but he could be considered that, right? He could be kind of like a scammy kind of guy.
I fell for it though. If he's selling you something like what he was saying about the people he ratted on were people who didn't trust it or like, they were pretty much ratting on him. They would have killed him in prison or something like that. I can't remember what he was saying. Just that the people he ratted on were also dudes who didn't care about him.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's tough to be on his side and it's tough not to be on his side because he makes a good argument for himself too. But at the same time, he's like this crazy dude, outrageous guy, outlandish, says things that people will never say. And he does it just for attention. So I want to call him a scam artist, but I also don't because it's such a negative thing. But that's kind of who numbers. He is.
I think a scam artist is someone who's just like, I have this product and it's this good. It's so beautiful that you should buy it, even though it's horrible. But his product is fantastic. Like his music is not good in my opinion, but the views, like if people like watch. Someone wants to, I don't know, give them money. It's like, hey, like I have this music, I get this amount of views, sponsor me. Like, let's say, I don't know, like for example, like Coca-Cola or something, like he's going to wear a Coca-Cola hat or something like that. It's like, dude, I get this amount of views. They're going to pay him. So they're going to pay them accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you're right. Like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Like he's good, like whatever, like maybe like I don't know.
Yeah,
like
he's good at what he does. He's good at what he does
for sure.
And he's got a plan out there. Whatever his plan is just to grab attention, and he does it. He follows his plan. He
very good.
Makes it out successful.
2 million, you wouldn't expect that at all. I don't know who you would expect to get 2 million people to tune in. But I don't think it was Tekashi 6ix9ine.
But guess what? It was Tekashi 6ix9ine.
And that I don't know, that pretty much makes him the most like well-known rapper or
famous
musician
like fame
in the world.
Man, he's good at what he does. But that reminded me, I don't know why, when I said like con man or like scam artist, it reminded me about about Adam Sandler and that Uncut Gems. It kind of reminded me about him, because Adam Sandler in that Uncut Gems, he was kind of a con man and a scam artist. Man. But he was also kind of, I mean, he was good at what he did. He was able to manipulate people and manipulate things, and a lot of the times,
crook, dude.
Like a crook. There you go. That's a better word. Not a scam artist. He's just a crook. Yeah, and that movie is out on Netflix now. Uncut Gems. We watched it while it was in theaters.
I saw it twice. That's how good I thought it was.
And that movie was good. I really like that movie.
It was nobody. It was just Adam Sandler, dude. Yeah. Kevin Garnett, whatever, played a whatever role. I don't even know any other actor that was in that movie besides Adam Sandler. I don't know who his girl was or his mistress was. I just know him. He carried that movie.
That's a very good point, because I don't remember anybody famous being in that movie.
Like dude, it was that other dude, the guy. Now I'm thinking of the dude who's working for him, who got Kevin Garnett. That guy. He's pretty well known. He was in Get Out, right? Or
yeah. He was the guy with the hat, like the guy, the black
took
guy.
A picture, right? Where he was taking a picture.
Where I can't remember his name. The main character in Get Out took a picture of him, and then his nose started bleeding.
Mm-hmm. That guy was in Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
And he was like selling jewelry for him off the side or something like that.
I like that guy as an actor, actually.
Yeah.
I like that guy. So it was that guy. I can't remember his name. I wish I could remember. Yeah. So it was Adam Sandler, that guy, Kevin Garnett, and then The Weeknd, and that was it. And The Weeknd, The Weeknd only had a little bit of a part there. Kevin Garnett was like in and out of the movie. It was really just Adam Sandler, and that was it. Like Adam Sandler carried that movie from start to finish.
And it felt like him. It didn't even though it was serious, even though it wasn't Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, all that, even though it wasn't that, or Waterboy or something.
Like kind of what we're used to him seeing him in those roles. Like we're used to seeing him in those roles. It felt
like Adam Sandler, though. It felt like it
very weird. And I completely agree with you. That was the weird thing, is like it definitely felt like an Adam Sandler movie, but then at the same time it didn't, because it was so
cussing, different. He was saying some really vulgar stuff, dude. He was in New York, just a slime ball.
It was just a different side of Adam Sandler that we've never seen before. And it's not like it made you forget that it was an Adam Sandler movie. It was just different, a different side of Adam Sandler. And damn, it worked out.
Who knew? Yeah, exactly. Who the heck knew?
It worked out. I really like that movie. One of the best movies in recent times that I feel like I've seen. It just kept you on edge. The whole movie, you're just like, damn, what's going to happen next? What's he going to do?
Was just like perfect too. You walk out kind of like thinking it wasn't perfect, but then you're like, nah, dude.
That's what needed to happen.
Exactly. That's what needed to go down in order for Adam Sandler's character to have the best like outcome in his life.
Yeah.
Because he would have just kept going and destroyed himself.
He would have kept being a crook, kept being a scam artist, and just run all of his money dry. But what happened at the end, it's like
it was perfect.
That's
dude.
What
it's perfect ending.
It needed to be like that. Like it really needed to be like
unexpected
that.
Too. That's what you like, right? You like an unexpected ending that's like, whoa, that grabs your attention and
it makes you think, like that whole movie, like the way that he lived his life in that movie. It makes you think like that there definitely are people that live that sort of lifestyle of being in New York, trying to be a crook, trying to scam people into doing
just
this,
trying to get money out of anybody,
any sort of way,
nothing.
Yeah, at any sort of way.
No morals. Like he would have sold his children.
Yeah, he would have sold his soul.
Got some change.
Exactly, in that movie, it like made you feel like people definitely go through that lifestyle. Like it wasn't a movie that was like ridiculously not real life, you know, like it was like a definitely like I can see that happening to people, especially in New York. Like that's where, you know, a big mecca of just like scams,
right?
of everything. And it just made you think like, man, people definitely do that. Like it's a real life movie that can definitely happen. And Adam Sandler went through that character and he
killed it, dude.
Killed it.
He seemed like one of those guys who loves just attracting money, and then when he gets it, it like burns in his hand. He just wants to turn it into more.
Yeah, he's like, I can't have this in my money.
Immediately, too. You see that in the movie. There was one part with Kevin Garnett that was like, oh my gosh, dude.
Yep.
Then he is a crook. That was right there. I saw. I was like, man.
In the very beginning of the movie, too, it happens.
It was just like, dude, this guy is just crazy. He's
Uncut Gems,
criminal.
man. Uncut Gems is a really good movie.
And he wasn't making, I would say, not that great of movies recently, dude. Jack and Jill was one of the worst movies of all time.
Jack and Jill. And then the ones that he was on Netflix, right? Like you thought that he was on a break or whatever, but he really wasn't, because he was putting out.
He was pumping out.
He was putting out some
and
Netflix
a lot
stuff.
of money. I think he said that too when he hosted Saturday Night Live. He was like, hey, I made billions in the box office still. And his movies were pretty crappy, I'd say.
Yeah,
Jack Don't Mess with the Zohan was kind of funny, dude. That was kind of late. That was earlier.
Yeah, that's like a movie that could not happen right now.
Yeah, like, super offensive.
And that whole thing was like Jews versus like Middle Eastern people. I can't remember, or like Pakistan or whoever. I don't know. It was just really racially like motivated. That whole movie was just racist. And that's something that couldn't come out now. But yeah, like, Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Just go with it with Jennifer Aniston.
Just
was
go
whatever.
with it.
He had a shoe one, right? Where he was like a shoe. We watched a little bit of that. What is that called? It had a name to it. Like
he was what?
He was like a shoemaker or a shoe sewer. You remember?
Oh, yeah, that does sound very familiar.
The name is something to do with shoes, like Culver or something.
I don't know, but yeah, he can. I mean, he from the 90s when he was making Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison,
Waterboy, Big Daddy in the early 2000s, I think.
The Wedding Singer.
Anger Management with I think that was with Jack Nicholson, right?
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Nicholson, yeah. It was with him. So he's had, you know, those good movies here. Like Click. Click is a very underrated movie.
Click was pretty good. And Bedtime Story, it was a Disney movie. I'm sure it did really well.
The Longest Yard.
That one, yeah. He was pumping out heat, and he just kind of had a streak of just some
doo-doo movies.
But and Uncut Gems, and like we spoke about in the other episode, that LeBron James is going to produce a movie, and he's going to have Adam Sandler as the star. He's going to be like an NBA scout or something.
Exactly.
I'm sure he kind of wants to keep a little bit of that Uncut Gems character, like that crooked guy who just wants to get in there regardless of how I do it. I'm going to freaking step my foot in.
Because he definitely played that role well. So he's like, you know what?
And it's going like it's keep the ball rolling almost.
Yeah.
Like just might as well, like, dude.
Yeah, keep it rolling, because he played that role really well. So we'll see how that LeBron James movie is. I think it's called Hustle. They just announced that
it's probably going to take like a
LeBron's
year or something. It's going to be a while.
Yeah, especially with the pandemic going on. So it's going to delay things. But I mean, Uncut Gems, man. It
fantastic,
was a different side of Adam Sandler that hasn't really been seen before, and he came out and killed it, man. Straight killed it.
At A24, dude, they released Arena, I think it's what it's called, or I don't know. I think it's A24.
Like the production company?
Yeah, they're creating these Room was pretty good with Brie Larson. That's and that dude from Good Boys. Or bad, what was it? Good Boys,
Good Boys,
right?
Yeah, with the little kids.
And then Midsommar, which was one of the most like wild movies I've ever seen, but I think it was A24, dude. They're creating these like different films and legit actors. Like Adam Sandler's a legit actor.
Yeah.
They're not like getting these.
And Brie Larson from Room too
is huge. Yeah. That movie was good too. I think it's on Netflix. That movie was like, whoa.
Yeah, so I mean, but going back to Adam Sandler, like I think that he, regardless of, because he's had plenty of movies that are like under 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like
horrible. I don't even think they like his early movies like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore or Big Daddy. I don't think they like him at all.
Regardless of that, he's been in the game for a while. Like Grown Ups is a good ass movie too, but he's been in the game for a while now, and he kind of deserves credit. Like he deserves some more credit than what he's given, because he's been in the game for a while. He's put out these classic movies. Even Grown Ups is kind of classic now too, right?
Grown Ups 2 was not.
Yeah. Like the 3 Grown Ups. The first Grown Ups was good. The other 2 were like, whatever.
I think there was just 2. Were there 3? I think it was just 2.
Maybe
if there was 3, then I hope not.
Maybe
I'm
not. Tripping. I think that there was 3 though.
With Shaq. I think Shaq was the second one. When he was like
Shaq was in one of
something.
them. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I think there's 3.
I think it was just 2.
But he deserves a lot of credit. I think that, he needs to be
He's versatile, dude. He can do a lot.
He needs to be more appreciated for like what he's done for the culture, because he's done a lot for the culture. He's been around, so he's done quite a bit. And he produces other movies, like his production company,
Benchwarmers.
What is it? Happy
Madison.
Happy Madison. That's what it's called. Happy Madison Productions. He produced the Benchwarmers and the Joe Dirts. Right? There's 2 of them.
I think so.
He produced the Joe Dirts, and he just deserves a lot of credit, a lot more credit than he would get. And I know a lot of people don't like him because of his kind of outrageous characters that he plays, and he yells a lot. He's kind of like that sort of comedy that's like stupid comedy, like it's so stupid that it's funny. And some people don't really like that, but you got to give him credit, man. He's put out a lot of classics. He's done his thing for a long time, and seems like he's still gonna do it. He's still putting out his heat and stuff. So.
Dude, I looked it up just now. It's like a lot. Paul Blart was Happy Madison. Mr. Deeds, I remember Mr. Deeds was pretty good. I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry was pretty good.
Yeah.
Longest Yard.
Yeah,
the Benchwarmers, the Deuce Bigelows or whatever. And yeah, like you said, the Joe Dirt, dude. And Click. He has a bunch of movies on here, dude.
Click is definitely underrated. I like Click. It's like a sad movie, actually. Click is pretty sad, but it's good. It's a good movie, though.
Or that Christmas special you had, you remember? It was animated.
It wasn't Christmas, because it was Hanukkah, because he's Jewish.
Oh, that's right. 8 Crazy Nights, dude. Yeah. That one was good, dude. Yeah. That one was funny.
That one was really funny.
So he can do a lot. Like, that proves, dude, he can just pump out gas.
Yeah, Adam Sandler. I mean, Uncut Gems is out.
Like he's this, and he was able to do this crooked guy in Uncut Gems, then be like a Disney guy, a Disney storyteller with his kids, or like, someone. I think it was like his sister's kids or something.
I mean, Uncut Gems is straight rated R. If there was another level than rated R, it's above that. and then he goes and does the Cloudy with a Chance of Meat, whatever it is, and does a G-rated movie for Disney. So he's all over the place. And for a really long time. I mean, he's been in the game he was on Saturday Night
Early.
Live, like in the 80s, right? So
no, I think it was in the late 90s. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was,
No, because he was putting out those movies in the late 90s. So
I think like
he's got to be early, maybe like late 80s, early 90s. But I mean, he's been in the game. He's put out a lot of movies. He deserves more credit than what he gets, is, kind of what I'm trying to put out there, because I'm not to say that I'm a huge Adam Sandler guy, but he's got good movies that are funny, that are classics, and he also has really bad ones. He takes his risks, he does what he's got to do, and he's got a lot of like under 10.
He was hired as a writer for SNL in 1990.
And he wrote a lot of his movies too. Like he wrote, I mean, obviously I'm sure he had help and stuff, but I know that he wrote a lot of them. So he's putting his mind and his kind of work, and he's putting it out there.
And his friends, how he has like his friends,
Rob Schneider,
all
David Spade
in his area.
And he's got like that cross-eyed dude that's in a bunch of movies too.
Wiley, bro.
And Wiley, yeah. What's his name? Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, Steve, exactly. And he's a big time actor. He's in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, he did some stuff with Quentin Quentin Tarantino. So,
and it makes you think though, like I guess like his other friend, like Chris Farley, that kind of sucks, dude. He was in Billy Madison as the bus driver, but he could have like that sucks. No, like now that he's gone, he could have for sure been in all sorts of Adam Sandler movies.
Definitely, I agree. Adam Sandler's he's one of the guys that, you know, he's improved culture. He's done a lot for the culture.
How he dresses too, dude, is just his style, his like who he is.
Just like basketball shorts, a college t-shirt, college hat.
A different college too every freaking day, like some other college.
Yeah.
It's good.
He's pretty good at basketball. You've seen his basketball videos?
He's got a J, yeah.
He's not bad. Even though it's ugly looking, he looks like it's like an ugly looking
got a J.
He hits though. He hits. But I don't know if you want to move on now to our last thing. We're coming up on an hour and a half right now. You want to keep going on Adam Sandler? You got anything you want to talk about, or you just want to go straight into?
That's pretty much it, dude. But it says that, you know, those Hotel Transylvanias, I guess that's his too.
Really?
Oh no, I guess he voices. Never mind. He voices Dracula, which I think is the main character.
Yeah. And the Dracula character actually almost looks like Adam Sandler too. Like
his kids look like, dude. His poor daughters look like,
because he's goofy. He's got like the big ears.
They look exactly like him, dude.
Yeah, he's kind of goofy looking,
but he's funny daughters.
Though. Yeah, but I mean, if you want to move on, we
got
can.
Money. Yeah, I guess they're not poor. Yeah, they're definitely furthest from that.
Yeah, they
just kind of look like a goofy Adam Sandler.
Whatever though, you know, you rich, who cares, right? But I don't know if you want to move on. Hour and a half.
Just whip it out.
Yeah, let's crack it open again. Let's do it. All right. So we're at that point of time now on our episode again. If you listen to our last episode, we're going to try to do like beer reviews at the end of every episode. And today's choice, poison, right? Because alcohol's poison. What's it? The poison of choice.
Don't hurt my feelings, dude. Don't make me feel bad.
Today's poison is St. Archer. St. Archer's Gold. St. Archer is a brewing company based in San Diego, California. It is owned by Miller Coors.
Really?
Miller Coors, yeah. So Miller Lite and Coors Light combined and made this massive company. And it's obviously second to the Budweiser. I can't remember what the Budweiser company is. Anheuser
something
Busch,
like that.
Anheuser-Busch. So this Miller's Coors is number 2. And just reading off of what they had on their website, St. Archer Gold is a light-bodied, flavorful, yet refreshing ultimate light beer with 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs, and the alcohol content is 4.2. So it is a light beer. But again, they claim that it's the ultimate light beer.
And there is a lot of light beers.
A lot of light beer. So we'll be the judge of that. We'll see. We'll see if it is the ultimate light beer. We've had plenty of light beers in our life.
But yeah, I will say though, I am not a fan of light beers. Already coming in, I am not a fan.
Yeah, I mean, light beers. Light beers will get you through the night. I mean, you can have, I don't know, like a 6-pack of light beers and be feeling good and still be able to drink more. I mean, if you have a 6-pack of IPAs throughout the night, oof, man, I don't know if you're making it.
I don't know if
you're making it. So light beers definitely help you. We'll see how this tastes. Hook it up. Let's try this. Again, this is the ultimate light beer, St. Archer's Gold.
Drink responsibly. We are over the age of 21. Do not try it if you're not, please.
It looks pretty nice. Looks pretty light. Looks like a little gold coloring like the name implies. It looks good though, I guess.
It looks fizzy. It kind of looks like one of those. Well, I guess the cup. You know those little cups that have like wine. These cups. You know those little ones. They're like little little shooters for wine. These kind of looks like it, but obviously it's not as fizzy.
It looks nice though.
Here, it looks definitely crispy.
Salud. Cheers,
light.
mate. All right, let's get this tasting. St. Archer's Gold.
Smells like a regular, just like a light beer. It kind of smells like Tecate. Like
I didn't even smell it.
It probably, you know what it needs? Obviously, we're
Mexican.
Hispanic, so I would like some lime.
A little dash of lime in
this would definitely make it a lot better.
But that is gonna,
as of now,
that is going to alter your decision. We're drinking this straight. We're just going to alter your ratings. We got to drink it straight. I
for a light beer,
it's pretty refreshing.
It is. I would say, like, my opinion is the best light beer is Bud Light. Coors doesn't taste like much. What are the other? Well, Coors Light,
Tecate Light.
Tecate Light's horrible.
Corona Light.
Corona Light's kind of gross. Everything. I would say Bud Light, in my opinion, is the best one. Natty Light, some PBR. I would say Bud Light out of all of them, and it's not my choice at all. But I would say this one is on that level. It tastes like, if you were to give me a Coors, I for sure can tell you this one's better than that.
Like if you're into light beers, this is a pretty good light beer.
For sure, but definitely with some lime, depending on how your opinion is. Some people don't like lime. Some people love it.
Yeah, depending
But
if you're Mexican
if you
or
had
not.
lime in this, I would like it, dude. It would be better. But it is, for a light beer, like if you gave me like a cup of this at like a game or something, like a NBA game or an NFL game, I could chug that. It'd be done, dude.
Yeah, we can run through those.
Yeah, it'd be quick, but I would like sipping this.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe if it was like a long party, if you have like a long get together
it's definitely
and
not.
you didn't want to get too twisted.
That's what I'm saying. Like it'll help you get through the night. It'll help you get through the night. You know, if you're going out, whatever. You know, sip on some St. Archer's Gold. It'll get through the night. You're not going to get messed
for
up.
A light beer. I don't want to judge it. I don't want to judge it with that. Like maybe, I don't know. Maybe have like a. Because compared to the other one we tried, which is Citrozona, I would 100% like Citrozona more. But I think that's just because I'm an IPA guy.
Maybe
like someone else would drink Citrozona and be like, "Oh, that is strong. I cannot drink a can of that."
It's all opinions again. But what I was gonna say is maybe we can have 2 scores for this, like 1 score based off of light beers and then another score just for like a overall score.
Is this a category? Like, what is it, right? Like a Pilsner I think Bud Light's a lager, right?
Yeah, I would assume this is a lager too.
So yeah, light beers are probably lagers. So I don't know if you want to be that
lagers
specific.
Or pilsners, yeah.
But light beers, like maybe we should try a St. Archer's IPA or something, because they do. We've had one.
Yeah,
we've had a couple, and they're pretty good.
And they have
they're in
some
these
sours.
different cans. Like there's like a gray can, and
Purple
then they have
can.
like blue cans. Yeah, like a purple can. They've got these weird cans for their IPAs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. Let me take a look at
Even
this.
that can looks nice. I was gonna say that earlier. Look at that can.
Yeah,
it looks
is a
really
nice looking
nice.
can.
Half gold, half white. It looks really good. It looks very buyable, dude. Very buyable.
Yeah,
It even says on the can, Ultimate Light Beer.
that's what I'm saying. Is that's what they're saying?
It's pretty good. You know what? I would agree, dude. I like this better than like a Bud Light.
Yeah,
If Coors and Miller's, they were going for that, I think they did. Because it's better than Miller, and it's better than Coors, and I think it's better than Bud Light.
I don't know what it is. It doesn't say lager or pilsner. I would assume it's a lager though.
Out of the Coors Miller family, I think St. Archer's Gold is the best light beer they got.
Might have the best light.
Even the Coors Premier, the one that's what it was called. Coors. What was it called?
Corona Premier.
No, well, yeah, okay, there you go. But with Coors, you remember I bought Banquet, right? That's what it's called. That one was okay. It wasn't that good. Miller and Miller Lite. Miller Lite's awful. I've never really had a Miller High Life. That one's pretty good.
Like the
Some
40s?
people love Miller High Lifes. The little ones, though, even the little bottles, the little itty bitty bottles.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I like it.
Miller High, you know what? I'm kind of comparing. Think of a Miller High Life when you're sipping this. Now that I'm thinking about it,
it's good. I mean, it's definitely a good light beer. Nice and light.
It kind of tastes like a Miller High Life, dude, but maybe more flavorful. Maybe it has something more. A little bit more.
I do like this. I do like this. I'm not gonna say
it's
no.
It's very chuggable, dude.
If someone gave me this, like, you know what? Yeah, I could do it. I could take this.
You could for sure put this down.
Yeah, you want to?
No.
Huh.
No.
But yeah, dude, I like it. I mean, I don't. Again, the ultimate light beer, is it the ultimate light beer?
In my opinion,
that's the question. So far that you've that
Yes.
you've tasted?
I would say yes.
Interesting.
Out of the ones I've had, I'm sure there's all sorts of local breweries that have light beers. Like even that commercial we were watching, Blue Moon. Blue Moon just released a light beer.
Yep.
And I haven't tried it.
Maybe we'll see that in the future. But yeah, this is good. St. Archer's Gold. It's not bad. Like I keep
definitely
saying,
did a lot. It's weak.
It'll get you through the night. You can slam a 6-pack of that and still be all right. You'll still be fine. I mean, depending how often you drink, I guess.
It all depends, I guess.
We could slam a 6-pack and still be all right. No big deal. I really do like it. You know,
I would say so. I'd agree with the can. I would.
I don't know. I mean,
I would, dude. I'm trying to think like if you gave me lime.
It just tastes like any light beer, I guess. I mean, there are definitely levels. You know, I don't really.
But that's what I'm saying earlier. If you put me a cup of this, cup of Coors, like Miller and Bud, I would say like if you're thinking about it that hard, obviously it's hard to tell the difference between any of them. But if you were honestly thinking about it and sipping them and trying to get all the flavors down, I would say this one just off of I haven't tried a Bud Light right next to me, but I want to say it's better.
I like it. I like it too. You want to give it a rating? What you think?
Okay, so like I said, Citrusona, I would like more, and we gave that. I gave that a 7.
Should we go back and give it 2 scores, like 1 score for just being like light beers, and then a second score for like overall, or do you just want to go straight into the overall?
Because it almost feels like not right because I am only gonna if I had to score it in general, I would only score IPAs high because that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So let's do it. Let's do 2 scores. Let's do 1 score just as like a light beer score, and then another score is like an overall score. Overall beers, like what number would you use to describe this?
Out of light beers, I would give this like a 9 or an 8. Out of light beers,
pick one. 8 or 9.
9.
8.5.
I'm gonna go 9 is versus like Bud Light and Coors and Natty Light and Miller Light, even though they're the same.
Yeah, like what would a 10 be?
Coors and Miller.
What would a 10 be in
the light
beer? Yeah,
like I don't know. I haven't met one, but I want to say this is like a 9.
Okay, I'm gonna go with an 8 in light beer in the light beer world. It's good, really good. I probably would buy it. I mean, if I had a long night and I wanted to get some drinking in, I probably would buy this. 8. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 8 in terms of the light beer world. And then overall score, I mean, I gave this Citrusona, the IPA, a 7.5, I think. This one, man, in the overall score, how I would score it, like, will I grab it?
Would I buy this? Me personally? No.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah, I'm going to go, I feel like a 5 overall is too low, so I'm going to go with the 6.
I was going to say 6 too.
I'm going to go with the 6 overall. I mean, light beers, yeah, I'll grab it. If I was feeling a light beer, if I had a long day, I'll grab it. But if I had other options, if all my options were open, I don't know if I'm grabbing it. I don't think I'm grabbing it. But yeah, so you gave it a 9 in light beers. And then you gave it a 6 overall. I gave it an 8 in light beers and a 6 overall as well. So it's a good beer, good light beer. I enjoy it, and I'll probably drink it. I'm not going to say no.
I feel like it's a good like concert beer, like a good like if you're watching a game and you get a big old cup of this, like
that's
a
what I'm
big
saying.
old
it's
fat
like,
cup of this.
It'll get you through the night.
Good.
Like if you're drinking over the course of
I would say if I was out there in Vegas, just press in. It's like, hey, honey, give me another cup of this stuff. Give me a
St. Archer's Gold.
Yeah, I would like this gambling because if you had IPAs in you, your tummy would be like rumbling a little bit, like oh, and then you're moving around at a casino.
You get sleepy or something.
This is good. This is a good just like all night drinking.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, my beer of preference all night on a night out is like Dos Equis or Modelo. But again, I'm Mexican. I do like those Mexican beers. Maybe I do. Maybe I do have a bias, but I'm still going with the Modelo. If I'm going out at bars and stuff, and I know I'm going to be out all night, my beer choice is like a Dos Equis Modelo But this isn't bad. It's not bad. If they don't have a Dos Equis, if I go to a non-Mexican establishment that does not have Dos Equis or Modelo.
Even non-Mexican establishments got them freaking cervezas.
That is true, but I do like that. Again, St. Archer's Gold, St. Archer Brewing Company, San Diego, owned by Miller Coors. This is considered self-proclaimed the ultimate light beer.
I proclaim it as well.
4.2 alcohol. Not too bad. I liked it. Not too bad. But here we come again at the end of this episode. So I hope you guys liked it. We enjoyed our time. And we'll see you guys next time. Again, we'll actually, let me go back. I wanted to kind of touch back on that Tekashi 6ix9ine.
That's our question, right? That was what we wanted as our...
Yeah, like how we had it last time with that Michael Jordan versus LeBron. Tekashi 6ix9ine. Do you agree with him? Do you think that he's telling the truth when he says that Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber cheated on the Billboard?
Are you on his side? Because I am. I am on his side.
Are you on his side?
I have chosen his side.
Do you think that he should have snitched? He should have not snitched? Like you let us know. Tell us what you guys think, and we'll touch back upon it next episode.
Hope we get another comment, dude. Yeah. That's all. That was cool.
Yeah. Hope we get a response. Just tell us what you think, man. Anything. It doesn't have to be what we talked about. It can be about anything else that you think, Tekashi 6ix9ine deserves to be talked about, or whatever that the world deserves to know.
Maybe we missed something.
Yeah, so tell us whether you agree with us or not, or just bring up another point, whatever you want to talk about, and bring it up. Let us know. We'll go ahead and review it on the next episode. But in terms of this episode, we are done. We are at the point of time where we are going to call it quits, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Yeah, man.
Peace.